Good morning and welcome to the beautiful sunny Clevedon here on the English side of the Bristol Channel. Today is the day, the long awaited, highly anticipated launch of the Spooligan BeachCast. So the rods are out, and believe it or not, Mr. Craig Noble-Jones, first cast, first fish. Down in the rock pool down there, what looks to be £10, maybe a little bit bigger, thornback ray. Did get him stuck close in. We have got some footage that I'm sure you'll put in this video for you to have a look. But I'd like to welcome today now our first guest, the man who can, Mr. Damien Robbins. He's a local man from this area. And when we put the post out on YouTube and social media asking for guests, this man was the first man to reply. And believe it or not, it was a fantastic reply. So we decided to come over this way today and do our first film with the man himself. So first question I'm going to ask every man or every woman that we do this podcast with is the man behind the rods, Mr. Damien Robbins. Welcome, thanks for coming on board.
Thank you, no problem.
And yeah, tell us a bit about yourself and what brings you into fishing.
I come fishing because it's for my mental health, it's to get out of the house, it's for exercise, it's for my well-being. I've got to the stage of my fishing now where catching fish is almost the byproduct.
I know the feeling. You know, me and Craig and the guys, we've been fishing for many years, and ever since we were kids. And you know what? It's not all about catching these days. No, it's all about this.
Yeah, exactly.
What we see today, you know, there's nobody on the venue. Me, you, Craig, nobody else. First fish, sunshine, it's beautiful.
Don't get any better, does it?
No, I don't get any better. No, there's a lot of people like yourself who you know, go fishing to ease the mental health, take you away from the daily strenuous days, the work life, the busy life. Yeah, it's great. You know, I run a really busy business, so for me, coming out fishing on a weekend is just a release. You know,
absolutely,
I'm bombarded with emails and phone calls. So yeah, I get what you're saying about that.
I work in mental health, and you know, I need to get out. I need to get away. I need to be in solitude and peace and quiet.
You need that time out from the daily goings on, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially the things you know you may talk about and you may see within your job. Then on a daily basis, it's bound to get you down, I guess.
You can do if you let it. Yeah, I mean, I've got to the stage in my career where now I tend to leave it at the door, but that took a lot of practice.
That's what I was hoping, you know, running my own business, and that's what I was hoping. You know, there'd be a stage where I'd have somebody running my business, and you know, I'd be at home enjoying life, but I can't seem to let go. It's my own business, my own baby. I have a business partner who we work very closely together, and we do a fantastic job of what we do. But yeah, it's hard to let go. So having this. Yeah, it's fantastic for me.
I do find when I come to these places, I don't think about anything else about what's here. I don't think about anything else about it's the fishing, it's the rods, it's the scenery. Yeah, it's my mind just tunnel vision into the environment.
I'm with you, and you know, I think that's all I think of other than my work, my family. You know, fishing is all we talk about as friends, and even my wife. You know, she sits there and unfortunately has to listen to me going on, reading magazines, watching videos. So yeah, so when did you start fishing? How long ago was that?
I started fishing when I was a little boy, so my granddad took me freshwater fishing initially.
Same here. Well, my dad took me, yeah.
Which is okay. I enjoyed that. We didn't, you know, it was good. We caught a few little roach and perch and stuff like that. But
Do you know what though? There's nothing better. Float fishing, bagging up on the roach. Me and him used to love it.
Yeah, for me it was the perch bob with the worm.
Yeah, perch. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been a perch fisherman. I've always liked sort of roach. My dad was a tension bream fisherman. He still is. And you know, I used to love catching the bream. But you know, that led then to one day me and Craig went fishing to Pentwyn Lake in Cardiff, and we caught I think it was a 9-pound carp, and that was it. I was doomed then. I was doomed. It was carp fishing all the way, and you know, the bream and the roach and stuff, they sort of took a back seat. We was always sea fishing. You know, we've been sea fishing since young lads, but back then it was more winter fishing. You know, we never did no summer fishing for some bizarre reason. You know, the smooth hounds, that was something I never knew of back then. That the rays, yeah. So yeah, you're the same as me. You know, my first fish was a carp, a 6-pound carp on a lake called Barry Duck Pond, I think it was called. And yeah, I watched the bite from the carp, and you know, it was exciting but also scary. And you know, I caught that fish, and from then on I've been hooked, and I've fished all my life for my father when I was younger, until I could go out on my own, and when I went out on my own, and you know, no way to go then. So I guess you're the same sort of thing then. Yeah,
like I said, a bit of course fishing, but the change came when my dad took me down. I think I was 13 or so, down to Torquay, and we got a float set. We flicked out into the harbour, and the first fish that took it was a garfish. So of course the thing came straight out of the water.
Yeah.
It tail walked through the, you know, and for me then that was it. There was no way I could look at.
I mean, I've been down to. I've got family in Devon, and that was the first time I've ever fished for garfish and mackerel off the harbour wall, or harbour wall, I guess I think it's called. They're great fun, the garfish.
Absolutely.
They're great fun, but you know what? I've never targeted them after that.
No, I haven't, to be fair. And the weirdest thing was, I mean, I think what actually got me hooked was, I think my next cast out was, I just dropped it down by the side wall, and the float plunged under, and it was a mackerel, a big mackerel. But to me, that was the most powerful fish. I couldn't believe what was happening.
They are quite mental mackerel. Yes. I mean, when you have them on the feathers, you know, it's all this shaky, and it's exciting. Yeah. Although they're not big, but it's exciting, isn't it? You know, some fish you reel in, you know, especially the bream in the fresh water. Other than the initial float going under.
Yeah, it's like a paper bag.
Pretty much it. Yeah. But you know, it still kept me going. Yeah. And you know, that's you know, I'm 48 now, I guess, and that was 6. So you know, 42 years ago was when I caught my first fish when I was 6, and I've been going ever since. So yeah. So what is it you think then that made you go fishing and you know, essentially all these years later still going? Is it the excitement?
It's the excitement, and like what we were saying earlier on, I got to be honest with you, when I was carp fishing, I was more driven by weight.
Yeah. I was. I'm not so much now. I used to be targeting the big fish, but now I'm looking a nice looking fish, and plenty of them.
I was looking for name fish, you know,
name
that was the way it used
to work.
You had to catch the name fish, and that was more about my ego than anything else.
And that's what it is. And this is what we'll get onto it. We'll touch on it later on at the social media side of things. And I think that that's played a massive part in why and where I fish these days. But yeah. So how long have you been carp fishing for?
I carp fished solidly for 15 years. The reason I started carp fishing, funny enough, was because I was, at the time, the Bristol Channel was not a nice place to fish. It was going back in the early 90s. All sorts of things were being dumped out here. Yeah. The fishing tailed off. You were lucky to sort of come out and maybe catch your pouting, which oddly enough you don't see anymore here.
You don't see now, very rare.
And that kind of, I thought to myself, well, this is too much effort for too little gain.
Yeah.
Because it was foul. You know, we were fishing, and we'd have a your line would be like a clothesline for the toilet paper, Durex.
Yeah. It still happens some places over in Bristol Channel, like Ogmore. We get, you know, when the weed comes through there, it's full of the plastic bags and all the rest of it, which ruins your day's fishing. But yeah, it's certainly changed. Like, you know, we mentioned social media earlier. How do you think that your local fishing has changed since social media has been the forefront of everybody's life, as it seems these days?
Well, there's good and there's bad, isn't it, with any sort of thing like that. And the good side is, you know, information sharing.
Yeah. When people want to do it.
When they want to do it, and if they share it correctly, of course.
Yeah.
But for me, it's about seeing where other people fish, seeing what they're doing, see what's being caught. I like watching other people's videos and seeing the photographs.
Yeah, same as me.
The downside is, of course, a tidy fish will then draw huge amounts of anglers to one area.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough.
The thing then, though, I think, for us, when a fish goes up online, everybody follows that fish, and then there's no etiquette.
No,
I find there's no etiquette with sea fishing anymore.
No, that's true.
You can be on venues, and there's enough space for, say, 8 or 9 anglers. However, number 10, number 11, number 12, number 13 will always find a space. Never mind what you're doing, never mind what I'm doing. Don't ask me if things are okay to do that. They just get on with it, which is fine. Everyone's free to do what they choose.
Yeah, it's like a lack of a code, isn't it?
But for me, though, a bit of etiquette, a bit of manners. If you can't fit in, then just go to another venue or go home. Really,
I think COVID obviously played a massive part. People were digging out their rods again, weren't they?
It's played a massive part in carp fishing, definitely. Because all the local syndicate lakes and lakes that you'd be able to get onto have now, through COVID, everybody joined the lake. You couldn't get on there.
It's dead man
so now, yeah, exactly, yeah. But now it's starting to fizzle off slightly now. Have you seen that happen with sea fishing? Do you think?
Only on the very accessible marks. Like for instance, Lady Bay down there. We were chatting earlier on.
Yeah.
After a fish goes up, or sometimes any time on a weekend, you cannot get out there. And there's, like you said, there's no etiquette.
Yeah.
So you are crisscrossing lines all the time. But on the other side of the coin, fair play to these people getting out and doing it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm all for new guys and new beginners getting out and giving it a go. And quite often, me and Craig will answer messages on our social media channels regarding marks, venues, baits, times. All the usual questions. And we're always happy to help. But I think there's a limit to that, because at the end of the day, part of the fishing for me personally is the excitement of finding somewhere new, trying something new out, and seeing what I can do with that place. I know we're here today with you and we've taken your advice, but if we were here fishing today, me and Craig would come over for a look, this is where we would come here, or we would be on the next ledges down here, because it's the obvious place to fish. We do a bit of background research and find out what fish are here, what baits, what tides, as anyone would. But yeah, I think social media's played a big part, good and bad. Like you say,
it's good to see the sea fishing industry explode, though. That's one thing I've really enjoyed, is the fact that now, especially with what you guys are doing, is people aren't having to botch stuff together to get what they want. Everything is now available.
And do you know what though? There's haters out there that don't like what we do, and it is what it is. But all I would say to that is, if you don't like it, don't comment on it.
Exactly.
We don't comment on any other body's posts that we disagree with. We just leave them to it. It's up to them what they do. So, we're not here to change the world. We're just here to make a few products, give people the opportunity to try them out, get on camera with us, have a chat with us, come and fish with us. We're by far not the best anglers in the UK. We're probably some of the worst, if I'm honest. But you know what? We're nice guys, and we're happy to help anyone we can. So, but yeah, so the social media thing, the good and bad. I hope things change, because the way I see things is everybody wants to become famous, and everybody wants to be the best, and which I get it. There's a lot of that in the carp fishing industry. There's a lot more of it in the carp fishing industry. A lot more famous anglers around. There's a lot of skill that goes into carp fishing at times, and I think that's now moving into sea fishing. We talked about carp fishing rigs. We did a video on the boilies. It hasn't worked, not yet anyway. But it's just something different, and we're trying to incorporate some of the carp fishing rigs. The dongle rig, we've now incorporated a swivel to make it a spinner rig. Yeah. So with the dongle rig, it's stuck on that loop, and it can only go certain degrees left and right. Incorporating the swivel and another link, it now spins right round.
Right, so like a 360.
Yeah, like a 360 rig. Yeah, whether it works, whether it's going to be better than the dongle rig initially, you're never going to know.
I think
unless you put them next to each other and watch what happens, you're never going to know.
That's right.
But it's all fishing is all up here, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that having the confidence in what you're doing will catch you more fish, no matter how good or bad of an angler you are.
Yeah, I agree totally.
So back to when it all started. Then you remember your first fish. When was it that you made the transition from carp fishing to sea fishing? And is it just sea fishing you do predominantly? You don't do nothing else?
No, I carried on sea fishing for a long time, up to that time when I said, the channel got quite barren.
Yeah.
And in that time, I did quite a lot of match fishing. I fished for a local club. I did quite well. I actually won a national final as a junior, so that was good. It was around about that time that I stopped, because I now discovered, obviously, women and pubs and things.
As we all do.
But for some reason, I think times were hard or a bit bad, and I was needing an outlet, and I went to carp fishing, and I utterly threw myself into it.
I think people do, don't they?
Yeah.
People do.
But I watched the scene change massively. It got to the point where the local lake I was fishing with had electric gates, and you'd have people queued all the way down the road, and they would be running with barrows full of stuff as soon as that gate opened to get to a swim, and that was the point I thought, no.
And do you know what I think as well? I think as well with that fishery owners have definitely become greedy.
Oh, well,
They're not now. They don't now think of the angler. No. They do not now think of. No, let's put it this way: if it was their syndicate or their lake that they were going to fish, they would not want as many people on there. However, money talks.
Exactly
and,
that.
I get it's business, and I get money has to be made. But it's definitely changed my outlook on it.
Yeah.
And I do less of it now for that reason.
I despair of some of the fish care that I see on the commercials as well. I see some stuff. I see people, hand lining out £3-4 carp onto the ground with no mat. But then, why is that? Is that because there's surely enough information out there, isn't there?
There's a lot of help. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of videos on YouTube, especially carp fishing wise, and I think that moving over into the sea fishing, where you've got to look after the fish as well. There's a lot of that we've talked to numerous people in the carp fishing industry. Is this something that we could do that could maybe help the fish care side of things? We have been I personally have been in talks with a syndicate manager, Martin Cronin, who, he's a huge name in carp fishing. He's had the lake for many years, and he's trying to not so much educate me, but help me along the way with some type of fish care, because that's one of his paramount things within the carp fishing industry is looking after the fish. They're his fish, you need to look after them. And we've seen now that Craig's caught the thornback. We've dehooked it nice and successfully. It's now sat in the rock pool just relaxing for a minute. We'll have some still shortly, and it'll go back to fight another day. But it's definitely something that needs to be addressed, because on the beach, especially when you see new anglers, and it's no fault of their own, don't get me wrong, it's new anglers are unaware of what needs to be done and how to do things and how to do things safely. So a lot more people out there, seasoned anglers if you like, and well respected anglers, should put more effort into helping people, and not all about them and catching fish and putting it all over social media to get some likes and some well dones, because for me, them days are gone. Really.
I've seen that a lot recently, actually, the last 2 years, an uptake in people actually, making videos and things that are really helpful. Yeah. And it's not just about, this is the rig we're going to use. There's other subjects talked about, people talk about, for instance, mental health now. Yep. People talk about fish care. People talk about simple, basic things like the amount of rubbish that we see on beaches, and what this highlight this. Why is it happening? Yeah. Why aren't people clearing up after themselves? I mean, that's annoying. It's just so annoying. Leaving dogfish is another thing. I don't understand that.
Like on Fonty the other day when I was there, I caught a few rays, and every 20 minutes as the tide was ebbing, the ray was back on the rocks, the thornback I caught. It kept coming back in. But you know what? Back down, put it in, back down, put it in, back down, put it in. So that's what needs to be done. But a lot of these people, may not see it, may not look for it. I know what I'm looking for, so I'm always looking for that, because I know that's what the fish does. But yeah, I think people should just ask a few more questions before getting into the sport. Do you see yourself then continuing the way you fish, or do you see a decline in what you do? So what I mean by that is the likes of me and Craig and Carl and Lee, the team at Spooligan, we do a lot of fishing down West Wales after bullets. We've tried for taupe on occasions, and that's something we're going to look at now moving forward, is taupe. But you know yourself, taupe fishing comes with the marks, comes with the climbing, comes with the walk. Do you see yourself on a decline from what you used to do, or are you still doing what you did 15, 20 years ago?
I'm still doing what I did, but I am opening my eyes to other things.
Yeah.
You know, I try not to pigeonhole myself into certain areas, certain marks all the time.
Yeah.
You know, we do go down to Minehead, we do sort of go along to the reefs down at Hinkley and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine, we go every month, we make sure we get away somewhere on the south coast.
Yeah.
Just to change things up. So the core of it is here. You know, this is where I love. This is like my spiritual fishing home.
Yeah, we have one of them.
My mind is open more than it ever was to different species and different things. And I know, like you guys over there, you have some fantastic fishing. And
some of the fishing's ridiculous over there, to be honest.
And it is my aim to get over to West Wales at some point. There's a couple of guys we know in our group that has said that we'll go and do some stuff next this year in Wales.
Give us a shout. And you know, we're not fantastic West Wales anglers, but you know, we can catch bullets.
Yeah.
We can go to some really good marks with a chance of a taupe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have caught taupe, albeit not many. But yeah, there's definitely marks that you can come along with us and enjoy a day out. You know, and
definitely.
You're quite welcome to invite anyone else with you. So a lot of the marks are limited to so many people, but you know, it's always something we can organise.
Yeah.
You know, for us, and the question I've just asked you there, but for us, the decline in what we do, we've sort of gone the other way, really. You know, we're predominantly South Wales anglers all our lives. Started going down West Wales now the last couple of years, and it's a lot harder. You know, it's a lot more walking, a lot more climbing, abseiling, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You know, it takes its toll. You know, fitness-wise, energy-wise.
Yeah.
You know, and the next day, I'm out.
I'm broken.
Out of anything. I'm done, broken, like I've been beaten up.
Yeah.
And dragged along the London Marathon.
I know I'll be broken tomorrow. I know this. But I suppose what you're saying with the decline of things, there are certain marks that you just know that in 5 years, maybe 10 years, I'm not going to be able to
That's
fish.
in my mind all the time, you know, and I think to myself, where am I going? What am I going to do?
Yeah.
And then that's pushing me into like, I got to go today. I got to go tomorrow.
That's right.
I got to go the next day, you know, and that's one of the reasons why all I think about is fishing.
Yeah.
I'm unsure, but
I thought about it. You know,
it's like an addiction. It's weird.
This question of why we go fishing is something, you know, it's not just about being here looking at these rods, is it? For me, it's about the preparation. It's the few days beforehand. It's about the solitude of the walk down by yourself,
100%.
like we did today, and we saw all this stuff.
Yeah, and you know,
Your
especially
rigs.
over this side, I've seen, you know, it's opened my eyes slightly, because a lovely day like this on a weekend, you know, if we were fishing our local marks, we'd have to be there 6 hours before tide. You know, when we fished Fontaghetti the other night, me and Carl, we were there 5 hours before low water. You know, and back in the day when we used to go fishing, we'd plan, myself, Lee, and a friend of ours, Ian Batt, who used to go cod fishing with. We would plan to go fishing at the high water marks in Barry, around Barry Island Beach and so on. We would be 2 hours before tide, 2 hours after tide, and there'd be nobody there.
Yeah.
But now, you know, we fished at Fonty this week. I use Fonty because it's my latest session. We were there 5 hours before. There was 12 people on the beach. I know number 13 and 14 still came and went further on. There's plenty of room, don't get me wrong, but they were still turning up, you know, an hour before tide.
Are you finding that more people are coming from afar to fish South Wales now? Such a good fishery.
Yeah, so
People like me.
yeah, poachers.
Yeah.
No, so I think, yeah, you're right, because since we've been doing the filming and Spooligan's been sort of born, a lot of people recognise who we are. They always come and speak to us and ask us if we're filming and so on. And a lot of people are now messaging us on our social media channels asking, you know, can you tell us how to fish there, when to fish? I think we had it the other day. Somebody's at Fonty today.
Yeah, messaged me this morning.
Yeah, messaged him this morning. How do I fish Fonty? What time can I get there? Local people message me. I help as many people out as I can. So yeah, there's a lot of people now that are coming from afar to fish South Wales. And you know, we was even down at St Justinian's, which is down West Wales, and somebody came up from North East England, I think it was, to fish for taupe. We were there before him, but yeah, I think there's definitely more people coming over that way to fish. Look, the fishing's fantastic.
It's a fantastic.
When, you know, when the
fishery.
fish, when the rays are in, they're in.
Yeah.
You know, and when the smooth hounds come,
Yeah.
you know, you won't be fishing like this, sitting doing this. We ain't got no chance.
No.
We're fishing with one rod,
Yeah.
25 crab, fishing for a couple of hours and going home. Especially certain marks, you know, the likes of Morva Beach. You know, you take one rod there, 20 crab, you're going home before the tide's finished. It's you know, at times it's really prolific. But you know, we do have our dry spells, and them dry spells are tough. I'll be honest, it's hard going. It's not so much demoralising, but disheartening is what it is. You put all the effort in, all the money in, and you know, we head out on these trips in the cold, and when you know, even in the summer when the fish are sort of transitioning from the rays to the smooth hounds and so on, you have them dry spells and fishing becomes hard. But you know, it's then that when the dedicated people are the people that catch.
It's about rod time at the end of the day, isn't it?
Of course it is, yeah. And it's, you know, there's a handful of anglers in the South Wales area, the Barry coastline and sort of down there, you know, that I could put against anybody in the country, and I know they're going to catch fish. You know, wherever they go, they catch fish. Daniel Crump, the manager of Holton Road Angling, fantastic angler. It seems to me that he can sit at home and think, right, I need 100 quid. I'm going to go and fish the comp tomorrow, and I'm bringing the 100 quid home. And he just does it on a regular basis, you know. Doug Llewellyn, Angler Ambition, fantastic angler, fantastic matchman, does the same thing. You know, Lee Byrne, who's with Spooligan, you know, the man can catch in that rock pool over there. You know, that's what he does. There's Mario Asprow, another angler who fishes all around the world, who seems to catch everywhere. You know, we have got plans as a Spooligan team to do, in my eyes, the Welsh side of things and them anglers, and open up their stories for people to see, because just like yourself, I'm sure that there's people on this side of the channel that know who you are. The people in a tackle shop, in Real Fun Tackle Shop this morning that we spoke to, knew who you were. So, and the idea of it is, you know, some people haven't got the nerve to come up and speak to you when you're fishing, but they watch your videos, they watch your catch reports on Facebook and so on. They'd love to know who you are. So the idea behind the BeachCast, especially with the anglers over in South Wales, you know, the likes of Dean Booker, who's Veal's sort of frontman really on videos. He has a lot of followers, he has a lot of following. You know, there's a lot of questions on the YouTube channel for him. I just think, you know, a person like that, his story would be fantastic.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of people that want to know the story, and it's a perfect opportunity for these guys to tell their story rather than social media making one up. Because that happens a lot, you know.
Does, yeah.
A lot of people have a wrong perception of people, especially on social media, and they're angling, and they paint the wrong picture because of other people. So this BeachCast is definitely going to give people an opportunity to tell their story, let people know the real person, you know, and like I said, the first question, the man behind the rod. So it's a great opportunity, I think.
There we go. Damien's put us on the fish. First cast magic again for me. Seems to be my go-to kind of tactic. This one coming in about £9. Not a PB, but a bloody lovely fish nonetheless. There was a strap on the bottom hooks, but that came off. And you can see I'm dressed like Benny Hill because I went in to get it. Yeah, cracker. First cast. Cheers to Damo for putting us on the vark. Yes, boy. Let's get him back. There we go. Little eel, nothing big. Certainly not the double I've been chasing, but welcome nonetheless. Tide's just on the flood, so fingers crossed. Got a few more. Let's get him back.
So welcome back. We've had a bit of lunch. Wade Craig's Thornback Ray come in at £9 something. Put that back safely, and so I guess it's back to it. So following on from what we've been speaking about regarding fish, venues and so on, if you're a person like myself, I keep notes of all my PBs. So on my phone, whatever fish it is I've caught over the years, I've always kept a record of what it is, whether it be carp, carp, taupe, or smooth hound, sea fishing, carp fishing, whatever it is, I've got a list of it on my phone. Is that something that you do?
No,
No?
not anymore. No.
Did you used to do it with your carp fishing?
Yes, I used to record and weigh everyone completely.
Yeah, take pictures.
What bait, what time, all the rest
Yeah,
of the complete
yeah.
diary. Yeah.
I mean, I think carp fishing, everybody does that, doesn't he? Because I think that's their goal is to have that photo album, I guess.
Yeah.
Do their fishing, catch the fish, put it in a photo album, record the weight and so on, monitor the progress, because when you do catch them carp, you know, someone else is going to catch it after you.
Of course.
And you know, they're going to record their weights, and everybody's looking to catch that certain fish at a certain weight. I think that, you know, I do speak to a lot of people whilst on the beach, and there's a lot of people out there that do record their PBs. It's definitely something that I do. You know, my PBs are not massive. Off the top of my head, a blonde ray, 18 pound. I luckily enough, I caught a PB thornback ray the other night at Fonty, only by 2 ounces, but you know what? It's still a PB, so that's gone down in my notes. So what is it you do? What is it you strive to do? If you don't look after PBs, it's not about the size, it's just about catching fish.
I mean, I know them in my head roughly, but I don't go to the nearest ounce. I just know roughly what it was. So I tend to set myself a target every year. This year it's a double figure bass.
Oof.
So I've had them sort of up to 9, 10 around this area, and sort of some decent sized fish up to 8. But I think on a good day there's a double out there.
Do you just set that one target for the year then? Because I know the likes of, I don't set myself targets as such. I think it's just to beat some of the PBs I have. I know that Craig this year has set out a list of targets, not so much PBs, but target species and so on. I know that some of the boys that we fish with, you know, for them to set out targets is, you know, they might not catch them fish again for many years. So I'm unsure if they do it, but it's definitely something I do, recording the PBs and setting out, not, like I said, not targets, but things I'd like to achieve really. Not so much weights, because I think the weights these days for me, having moved predominantly to sea fishing from the carp fishing, I still do it, like I said, but it's limited now because of how busy it is. I don't even do it in carp fishing no more, so it's not something I'm interested in. I'm not setting myself out to catch the biggest fish in the lake. I'm just setting myself out to have a nice time, catch up with my friends, do the fishing I've loved since I was a kid, and you know, if the fish come, great. And I think that's the same with sea fishing. You know, PBs for people get too fixated, fixated by them, and you know, it takes over their life. And when something like fishing starts to take over your life, I think it's time to step back and have a good think of it, because you know, we're going to move on to something we touched on earlier, which is mental health. And I think being fixated and being obsessed with something like fishing that takes over your life is never good for mental health. But on the flip side, fishing is good for mental health. Yes. So it's a balance, isn't it? You know, you've got to keep a balance. Yeah. I know. So you know, we touched off camera that you've had some issues in the past. Do you want to touch briefly on what they were?
Yeah, I mean, I've historically, for sort of all my adult life, I've sort of suffered with mental illness, mainly depression.
There's a lot of that. A lot of people have that, and they don't know they've got it.
No.
But I think of late, people making awareness. A lot more men essentially have come forward and starting to talk to people. But
I mean, that went hand in hand with addiction as well. So I had sort of a double whammy of it all, and that ultimately coincided with a part of my life when I needed something else. And guess what was there? Fishing.
Yeah.
Every single time. And twice I've needed to get back into something, and twice fishing, I categorically say, has saved my life. I
think as well, you know, with the mental health side of it and the fishing side, people who do suffer with mental health, and I think myself personally, I don't think I've suffered with mental health. I may have. I've had some down times in my life, but I don't think I've suffered as much as some people may have. I think that the fishing definitely helps in a way that, maybe not so much the fishing, but being in a place like this, around like-minded people, you're not talking about work, you're not talking about anything else. You're just opening up and talking about yourself, what you do, enjoying yourself, enjoying the surroundings. And people leave, whether you've caught or not caught a fishing, you leave happy, you leave a better person you were when you came. And the more you come fishing, the better person you're going to be. I know that there is a group that's live on Facebook that I have been monitoring over the past few months. And I see some of the top anglers in South Wales area have started to get involved with them. is the Real Minds group.
That's correct.
We did touch earlier that it's something that you've sort of got yourself involved in. Can you tell us a bit about that?
It's a sort of an involvement. I mean, I've been in touch with Dave there, and I know
Dave's the
guy who runs it.
All right, okay. I've heard his name mentioned. Yeah, Dave from Real Minds.
And we're the group that I fish with. We're sort of kind of like-minded. It's not about clubs. It's not about.
Is it different people then? Is it different groups within that group, or is it just all one group?
From what I can gather, the Real Minds is an umbrella for the charity. So
right.
Whether there's different clubs and that involved in it or not, I couldn't say. But with the group that I'm with, we're massive on mental health, and we actually started out because we wanted to get each other out fishing, to encourage each other to get out fishing, to be able to share information without having any sort of issues with it.
Yeah.
You know, taking people along. We've always said, if you want to fish with us, just come and fish.
Yeah.
We'll fish with anyone, anywhere.
Do you think it's brought a lot of people into the sport? Mental health's brought a lot of people into the sport, whereas back a few years ago, when mental health was sort of under the carpet, if you like, and everybody was keeping it to themselves, do you think it's brought a lot of people and a lot of anglers into angling now?
100%. Obviously, COVID had a massive effect on it, as we spoke about earlier on, but COVID also had a massive effect on people's mental health. Of course, everyone was searching for their spaces, weren't they? Everyone was searching for their own space, and people were thinking, hang on a minute, I've got a rod up in the attic, I can get out there and I can do something. And I think that triggered off a new wave of fishing, and I guess these people now are probably 2 to 3 years into angling again, falling in love with the sport all over again.
I just think, you know, like, touching on the COVID thing, I've got 2 children. I've got a daughter who is 11 and a boy who is 19 now. In the COVID times, I wouldn't say my daughter had mental health. She's a fantastic child. She's very well behaved. She's beautiful. She's all of them things. But when COVID came, she was stuck in our house, on not so much on her own, but her brother was a lot older than she is. So they don't play Barbie together. They don't play cars together. So she was on her own. So, and do you know what I did? I went out and bought a dog. And do you know what? It's an English bulldog. Looks like the Churchill dog. It's called Hugo, and it changed her instantly. And now they're both like brother and sister, weirdly enough. She sits down, she comes home from school, she'll take him on the bench, she'll sit down talking to him like we're talking now, and I listen, I'm like, what? The best thing I've ever done. So my point I'm trying to make is, the smallest thing can help a person with mental health. It doesn't have to be a massive thing, it doesn't have to be a massive effort from anybody. All it has to be is that one little thing that can change somebody who's got mental health mindset. It's a fantastic thing to do, and you know, I got to hold my hands up and say well done to the Real Minds group.
Absolutely.
It's not something I've ever spoken to them about. I've never been involved with them. I have watched them on Facebook, and I do follow them and see what they do, and I do feel like it's a charity, isn't it?
Yes, it's charity funding. They do some amazing things. They've got a place where they go and they do rig building.
So I see, where is that? I see that.
Now you got me there.
Yeah, I see that. It's like a little church, I guess, or something, is it?
Yes, it's in the sort of middle of a sort of a town centre, and it's a sort of a flat thing, and they do, like I say, rod repairs, reel repairs,
cakes, coffee, I see.
Coffee, rig building, but also they do the fishing trips out, regular fishing trips, so that every month they put out a list of venues that anybody can attend. If anybody hasn't got a rod or a reel, they'll provide it. Is
that sort of got bigger over time?
I'm told by Dave that it's absolutely gone through the roof.
Brilliant. It's great news for anybody with mental health and anybody who's looking to get into the sport, because you don't have to have mental health to be a quiet person. No. A quiet person, who would like to get into the sport can also join that group, I guess.
Yeah, anybody can. Anybody who's seeking to sort of, learn some new stuff, get back into fishing, be guided as well.
Yeah.
So there's guidance.
And I think that's another key, isn't it?
And a safe space.
Yeah, I think the key of new people starting is going with somebody who's got a good knowledge. Yeah. Who can catch a couple of fish here and there, because there's nothing worse than starting a new sport. It's like starting football, being a striker and not scoring for 3 years. Yeah. It's pointless. Yeah. At the end of the day, fishing is to catch fish. That's what it's called. It's called fishing. So I think it's the Real Minds group is a fantastic group. I wish them all the best in the future. I know that I've briefly spoken to Craig whilst we were having some dinner, and it's something he'd like to get involved in regards to maybe coming to some of their meets, some of their rig building days, and he maybe can offer some of his experience. And I'm sure as it grows, a lot more anglers will want to get involved. I know that Angler Ambition, he's involved with
Yeah.
the group. I see some of the things he does, and you know, that's a fantastic company to get involved with. Angler Ambition, you know, he can't do enough for people. So I guess the fishing industry needs a lot more people like yourself, Angling Ambition, and all the other guys that fish, you know, our lovely coastline.
Yeah, we have come together. We've got a match coming up on it's loosely termed a match. It's on the 12th of May on the Nap.
Oh, right, okay.
But the prizes are all vouchers from Vils, so that people can buy stuff to get back into doing what they want to do. There's going to be some fantastic kids prizes. There's going to be loads of prizes all in all, really, to be honest with you.
And you know, it keeps people interested, doesn't it? It's a bit of excitement, bit of fun.
Yeah.
And I think the idea of it is when you join that group, is to get people to keep coming back.
Yes.
Because the last thing you want them to do is join the group, feel unwanted, feel like they're no good at it, and then move away and leave a worse person they were when they came in. You know, and having watched everybody who sort of joins the group and joins the social media feeds and stuff, over time, I can see that just from watching, I can see they've been a changed person. So, you know, thumbs up to them guys, and the founder Dave, you know, I owe my hands up to him. Excellent, an excellent thing to do for people. And if I was that type of person, you know, I'd love to get involved. But unfortunately for me, I'm very busy with my work. I'm limited to what I can do, so I do a lot alongside with Craig, and these podcasts now are going to be the future of Spooligan. We're going to be travelling around the country, meeting guys like yourself who can put us onto different venues. We can talk to them then to discuss the way they fish, how they fish, what they fish with, because you know, we've come here today and you've opened my eyes up to a few things. It's not a venue I'd even think of fishing. Because I would probably walk along the coastline and think, yeah, it's not for me. But you know, I'm enjoying myself here. I'm sure there's going to be a few more fish coming in, you know, on the flood of the tide. So yeah, well, look, it's been great having you as a guest. I've learned a lot. I've enjoyed speaking to you, and you know, the weather's been fantastic. There are a few other things that I want to do on the podcast, and one of them is become a rock paper scissors champion.
Okay.
So every one of my guests, I'm going to do a rock, paper, scissors, best of 3. So I'm hoping it starts off with a blast and I become 1-0. So, right, I'm going to start it off with best of 3, rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, shoot, right?
Got it, yeah.
No cheating.
Right.
Ready? Not yet. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Right.
No, 1, 2, 3, then shoot in it.
Got it.
Right, got you. 1, 2, 3.
You said shoot.
Okay.
You did do the shoot bit.
Go on then. 1, 2, shoot. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Right, start again. I'm never going to be champion at this.
So
right.
1,
2, 3, shoot.
Shoot.
Yeah,
right.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3, shoot. It's 1. And again. 1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 1. 1, 2, 3, shoot. I'm losing. I got to think. Right, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, shoot. I guess that's 0 for me and 1 for the Spooligans. Maybe we'll cut that bit out of the film and we'll start the rock, paper, scissors again next week. So there's one more thing I got to do. I'm gonna do a quick fire 10 questions for every guest of mine. I've written some questions on my phone for you. These are quick fires. I just want the answer quickly. Let me just get the questions up for you. Right, okay. This side of the Bristol Channel or the Welsh side?
Welsh.
Really?
Just for the fact that it's just an amazing fishery.
Night or day fishing?
Day.
Really? You don't like night fishing?
Not on these places, no.
Yeah, true. Okay, understandable. So I see today you're using the dongle rigger. You said you use nothing else, so I probably know this answer. Dongle or pulley pennel?
Dongle.
One bait to use for the rest of your life?
Squid.
Standard. Do you know what? I think that every guest of mine is going to say squid.
Absolutely, I think you're right.
100%. 6 or 7 ounce leads?
7.
This one I probably know as well. Century or Ziplex?
Century.
Standard. Summer or winter fishing?
Oof. I'm going to have to say summer.
Back in the day, winter.
So, yeah, back in the day, yeah, when it was actually cod out there.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Okay, probably know this one as well. Multiplier or fixed spool?
Multiplier.
We did touch on this.
I'm open to suggestion. My missus won't like the idea.
We're gonna turn you around to fixed spool.
Okay.
Fish alone or fish with friends?
Oh well, I value my alone time, but I also value my friend time. So I've got to split that down the middle. I can't answer that one.
Okay.
There are times.
Well, that's good. That's good because you're my first guest. I've got an 11th question. For
Okay.
You. So, last fish you caught?
Thornbuck Ray.
When?
3 weeks ago.
Harsh. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Good choice. Right. So, on my way up here, I thought to myself, I've never met you before, right? So I thought to myself, my last question, I'm going to ask him a question. I'm going to read his mind before I even get you, right? And I know what the answer is going to be, right?
Yeah.
The answer is going to be stubbly beard, right?
Okay.
The question was clean shaven, stubbly beard.
Stubbly beard.
Standard. I'm a magician.
You are.
Listen, a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Absolute pleasure. And I hope to see you on the beach again soon,
Absolutely.
right? Here we are, guys. 2 thornback rays to finish the session. One for the main man Damo and a smaller one for myself. I hope we've all enjoyed the Spooligan BeachCast. There's plenty more to come. If there's anybody out there that's interested in joining the team on your mark and your venue, drop a comment below, click the link, get in touch and we can make some arrangements. But for now, it's the journey home for me and Craig. Damo's probably going to stay and slay some more, but we got other engagements. So all the best and see you on the next one.